And we are here in our last segment. We saved the best for last. Wine with Raquel. I'm here with Lauren Upton.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for Jenny and Sean for having me.
Thank you. Isn't it? It's so beautiful. So Lauren is with Catering Kitchen here in Annapolis, but you serve the whole DC metro area. Fabulous caterer. And yes, we're here at 59 Franklin. We just had Jenny and we were talking about the house. And I'm just really excited to have you because catering is such a big line item when it comes to weddings. And I just really wanted to talk a little bit more to get to know you and about how you came into the business and just your advice for brides in general. So tell me a little bit about Lauren Upton. You have a name that matches somebody else's name.
Well, my dad is Ken Upton, which owns the business, and he started off his business at our house, our family home. He would
How many years ago?
It's
a long time.
40. We're actually on our 40th year.
Congratulations!
Which is so exciting.
Congratulations!
We're on our 40th deal. When I was, I'm 26 years old, and so when I was younger, it used to be at our house, and he would meet with brides at our dining room table. He would, our prep kitchen used to be our garage. I never had a normal sleepover my entire life. The kitchen staff used to come in and, all of
it must have been hard growing up.
It was a little different. It was a little different growing up, but I loved it, and that's how I am the person I am today.
Yeah, right. And so it was just always a part of your life.
It was part. I would be listening in to my dad's conversations at the dining room table, and I would go in and help brides choose out fabrics. Granted, they were probably like the worst fabrics in the entire, linens in the entire, you'd ever see. But
did you always see yourself being a part of business? Because I know that you went to college and kind of did something else and came back.
Well, I always loved our business and but I wanted to try something new. So I went to college doing fashion merchandising, which was kind of my second love in life. And then I went to Texas for a year and a half and worked at a cute little boutique and lived there. And my heart wasn't there. And there was a position being opened up in Annapolis with my dad, and I moved back because that's where my heart was, and that's what I knew best. And then when I moved back, I worked in the office, and I was kind of at first I was like, Dad, let me know if this isn't right. I'll tell you if this isn't right.
Fire me, Dad, if it doesn't.
Exactly. Yes. And the first day I loved it. I worked I was 10 years old doing dishwashing we used to own a little cafe. I wasn't old enough to do catering at that point, but I did that, and then I always helped out in the kitchen. Yeah. And then when I was old enough, I was a server doing catering and working at our little restaurant. And then, I was bartending, and then I started EMing and doing event managing and parties and things like that. So really, I have done every single aspect, which helps me today be so natural at
what you do. And then also your background in fashion merchandising probably really helps in working with brides and kind of bringing their vision to life.
100%. My father was actually an art major, which is sort of the same thing. You get that. I was a visual merchandiser, so you get that sort of aspect of knowing what goes together, knowing what looks good, and not necessarily just putting everything together, not really know. So that really helps me out.
And so now you work with your own clients, you design events from start to finish, and you're the one that makes sure that it happens on the wedding day, right?
Absolutely. I'm there. Sometimes I even am the event manager at the parties. Of course, we have our amazing event managers.
You have a great team, a great fabulous team.
100%.
40 years. I mean, you have to do something right,
and there's a lot of those employees, which is important. All of our staff. We have over 300 employees.
Wow.
A lot of them have been with us for 30 years.
That says so much about your dad's company. Yeah.
Exactly. And it really makes us who we are today, because it's hard to get people that are on the same team. We make plans A, B, and C. Everyone's on the same team, and we make things very easy for the bride.
Yeah. Definitely. And then I always know that when we refer you and when you are on our schedule for day of events, Ken's Creative Kitchen, it's going to be done right, and that we have a partner in execution. So,
Right.
While we're here today, so obviously we're talking with people who are going to be at the summit, and I know that your dad is going to be a speaker at the summit.
Yeah.
And the whole goal is to really just provide a baseline education to brides and grooms who are looking for kind of how to start their wedding planning. We selected Ken's Creative Kitchen to be a part of it because you just know how to get things done right.
We do, and
We definitely
from
do.
experience that we know how to do things.
And that's a great word to use because we've been talking about that today. Experience. It seems like such an overused word, and people don't understand what does that mean. What is the value in having an experienced caterer? What does that mean to you?
Well, like I just said, our staff has been with us for quite a bit. We have people that have been with us for 30 plus years. Our EMs, Helen Stewart, Kathy Brozak are two of our main
I love Helen's job.
So they're amazing. We work as a team, and we're all passionate about what we do.
Definitely.
Every single one of our employees care and are passionate, like I said, and we get the job done.
You do.
And it's not a bunch of random employees. Some people have other employees that are not their employees. We have our own employees that have been with us. They have their own, everyone knows how to dress.
Yeah.
We've interviewed them. They know what they're going to look like. It's not a contract server that's going to come in and just you don't have any idea who this person is. Every single person that's going to come to your wedding is going to know, is going to care, first of all. They're going to want to make the experience, which is huge, which I think is the biggest thing, is the experience that all your guests, not only the bride and groom, but all your guests feel. At the end of the day. I think that's important. The most important thing, not just important, it's the most important thing, that the experience that all the individual guests feel.
And they walk away and
they
want to say,
wow, the food's great.
Exactly.
The experience, you always have your wine board at the table. You're going around. You said you don't have an empty glass. Our servers are constantly pouring you wine, water, filling up your bread and butter. We care about that, and it shows.
So if someone was to interview caterers, how do they determine experience? And what questions should they be asking when they're meeting with different caterers? Often it's about the food. Obviously, you want great food, but there's so much more. What should our brides be asking when they're meeting with caterers?
Well, of course, have your tasting, and it is about the food and quality of food. We cook all of our food on site, which a lot of caterers don't do. We don't just bring in the food warm. We cook everything on site. We prep, of course, we have a prep kitchen, which is very well equipped, which we just chop everything that needs to be chopped, and then cook everything on site, and make everything the best possible quality that it could possibly be. And that's huge when you're having your dinner, and you're not eating leftovers pretty much.
Definitely.
I think that's important, and just our servers, like I said,
making sure that you know where the staff is coming from. Can you ask? Would it be okay to ask a caterer? Do you have contracted staff?
Who's coming to my practice? What are they wearing? We show up in, nice black shoes, nice black pants, a nice crisp white shirt, bow tie, and a jacket. They don't, and we can always ask our brides, like, what would you like? Would you like us to wear a bistro? Would you like us just to wear the jacket? But typically that's what we do. We wear jackets and we look great, and our food's quality food, and our servers are also they care about the clients coming in. Everyone's the bride and groom, you know what I mean? We treat everyone.
Who's worked with your company, I know it's one thing to just say that your company cares, but I see firsthand that I know Helen, you're fabulous. and everybody there, if someone's like, I don't really like this kind of chicken, they're always willing to bring back and help them, and it's amazing,
If someone's unhappy, we always have something else available for them. We have vegetarian food, we have gluten-free, just in case on the background. And also, just to touch on that, another thing that's great with our experience, we're also very well known with our vendors. We have such a great friendship, and we love our vendors, and we pay them every Friday, so they love us too. And you know what I mean? It's very important.
Definitely.
And So if there is an emergency, we can call them and they're there. A lot of, if it's raining and we need a side on the side of the tent, we can call them, they'll be there in a second, And
that's something that people don't really understand, that, when there's a wedding planner or if there's not a wedding planner, the caterer plays a large portion in getting things done. Mm-hmm. And I think that working with a caterer that has a history of kind of getting things done is super important. Can you tell me maybe an example of one or two weddings that I know you've gotten me out of many pickles in the past?
Well, one big thing is weather. That's a big thing. And that's especially, for example, if you're getting Chesapeake Bay Foundation, everyone gets married on the beach, or if it's any wedding outside. I think that having someone there, we look at the weather. That's another thing. Like our event managers, they look at the weather.
And right, that extra level of detail.
And they look out on this. If there's a storm coming, we make sure that, first of all, the bride is calm, you're okay, give you some champagne, and
I have to tell you a story that I did. Very, very high profile celebrity wedding that I did with Ken's. And, that's right. And I was, worried about all my, wedding planner stuff. And all of a sudden, the Ken and tent manager came up to me and said, guess what? We have a storm coming through and we need to put up the sidewalls right away. And, I was so busy with coordinating with the band and making sure that we're ready for the cake cutting that, I'm so glad that they came up to me and said, look, we have a situation here and we need to take care of this right now. And because they were on top of it and invested part in the wedding, they got those sidewalls up. And the storm ripped through. And the funniest part about that story is that I got a text.
I was a bartender on that party.
Yes!
Loading up.
It was crazy. But I don't know, did you hear that we got a text from another, the photo booth company got a text from somebody, another one of their employees was at another wedding in the same area, that the same storm ripped through, but they didn't have sidewalks on the property.
I can't imagine.
All the tables blew over, all the flowers blew over, and the wedding was evacuated and canceled.
It would never happen.
Evacuated and canceled. And I swear, it really was. I was really sad, but I was just so thankful that, I had the 18 there with me and mentally invested, and boy, we have a situation, we're going to take care of it, and that's,
and we did. And it's everyone. We are, and when something happens like that, we're filling your drinks, we're feeding you food, we're, but even before that even happens, I was a very, rare wins and occasion, but we try to plan before that, and, look what the weather's doing. If you're getting married on the beach, we do look at the weather, which I think is, we have resources. If something's happening, we can call vendors. We have such great relationships with the tents and the
I've been on sites where we have plans and you make a fun clouds happen.
And it's there, and because we have such great, and I think that's really important for caterer and other vendors to have, is because we have our resources.
That's important. That's super important.
Yeah.
So we're running short of time.
Yeah.
We've got to wrap it up at 3. What can you give us, maybe, Lauren, the number one tip? I'm going to give you 2 tips. That when someone is interviewing caterers, what should they be looking for, and what are their decision-making points?
I think, number one, the quality of the food. I think that you need to make sure that what you're getting is actually what you're getting at the wedding, and not necessarily just for the taste.
So how do you do that? You ask the questions?
Yes. Is this exactly what we're going to have? And if it's not, then, there's nothing can't lie about it unless...
And it's okay. You're hearing it live here from a wonderful company. You can ask that question and it's not insulting, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that's very important. And also another one, the quality of the food, and who's there? Who's going to be my lead person? Who's going to be serving? Are they knowledgeable of the food so they know what they're serving? You don't want that's also kind of a sore site, is if someone comes up to you serving, we do tableside service. We give them their food. We don't make any disruptions. We give them their wine. We give them. That's a huge thing. You want to make sure you have people at your wedding that know what they're doing, instead of just some random person coming in for the first time with no lead person telling them what to do. You want to make sure that you have the servers that know what they're doing.
Right.
You know, and have done something like
And
that
the way you
before.
would find that out is you can certainly ask, right?
Ask,
And you might not meet your lead server, but I always say that you're betting your experience on the person that you're meeting with.
And you can ask who is your lead server,
Yeah.
who's going to be your EM. You can ask that, and if they don't know, then that's a little sketchy. You need to.
That's really great feedback.
That's not good that you don't know who's going to be the lead at your wedding. I think that's a little sketchy. You want to see a familiar face when you come into your wedding. I mean, I would feel.
So you're able to kind of meet that person ahead of time?
Absolutely. If it's not me, tell them that we're Kathy Bozak or all. If we have other EMs, you know, that's important.
That's
very
fabulous. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, those are great tips, and I know that the people who are watching are going to use that moving forward, and hopefully their first call should be caterer. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today, and